What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up and Chat. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, as well as Twitter and TikTok, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe to all of our YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? You can get our shirts $25, $30 a pop, you know what I'm saying, for shipping and handling. You know what I'm saying? And we also got sweaters and sweatshirts as well for $35 a pop, $40 for shipping and handling if you're out of state of California. But let's get it popping. All right, check it out. We're going to take a little turn today, right? We're going to cover a team, or I'm going to cover a team that doesn't get that much exposure, doesn't get a lot of coverage on the big media channels or, on many platforms and podcasts because they just don't get talked about. Even though they have the reigning MVP on this team, they don't get much coverage if you guys really pay attention. And behind closed doors and, under the radar, they've been doing their thing, with the sixth record in the conference. And the team I'm talking about is the Denver Nuggets led by Nikola Jokic, reigning MVP. I really had to look into more of the situation, and I feel like it's our responsibility to cover as many teams as possible when we talk about YouTube platforms to really be on an even playing field, right? So let's get it going. The Denver Nuggets, I feel like we have to really be paying some attention to because here's the thing. They're number 6 in the Western Conference right now. They're 37-26, led by Nikola Jokic. They've been showing promise. They've been playing at a pretty solid level throughout the entire season. They've been in the playoff picture for pretty much the majority of the year. And, they deserve a lot of credit for all that they've been having to adverse. Just a couple years ago, I think the Nuggets really made their mark in the NBA basketball world by going to the conference finals against the LA Lakers in the bubble and having spectacular performances, And I think that you have to really kind of look at it kind of like this is one of the top teams the last couple of years. They've been in the top 2-3 seeds when they're fully healthy, right? But this year they haven't been fully healthy, with the loss of Jamal Murray through a torn ACL last year, and then you got Michael Porter Jr. with a hurt back, their young up-and-coming star, right? The reason why I had to look at the Denver Nuggets a little bit deeper because with everything unveiling in the Western Conference, you got, the Los Angeles Lakers not being the team they were supposed to be at the beginning of the year. The Golden State Warriors been struggling without Jamal Green for the last, couple months. And Klay Thompson struggling. Steph Curry's been struggling with that team. Phoenix, Chris Paul's out with that thumb injury, from a undetermined amount of time. The Clippers, Kawhi and Paul George, like I said, from what my sources are telling me that he will be coming back, but right now they don't have him. So there's been a lot of, fluctuating throughout the Western Conference. It's been a lot of, uncertainty, right? Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., if they come back from their injuries, Denver Nuggets need to be taken seriously. Because think about it like this. Nikola Jokic, when I watch him play, he literally is the engine to that team. Nikola Jokic is one of them guys that he does pretty much everything right on the court. You know what I mean? He can shoot the three. He's very intelligent on the court. He doesn't do anything outside of his comfortability. He doesn't have that many meaningless games. He's always impactful in some type of way because he has a system that works for him. You know what I'm saying? Being the big man, catching the ball, passing to his teammates, catching for cutters and three-point shooters, you know what I'm saying? They have a pretty well-balanced team. Even though people may say that, Denver is not that deep, which they're not, they have some good pieces, who stepped up. Will Barton has stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Gordon has stepped up. Austin Rivers has stepped up. Monte Morris has stepped up. You know what I mean? So they have been having pieces that's been buying into Mike Malone's system, right? So, and that's a lot of credit to Nikola Jokic for making his teammates better and, making them comfortable. And then, of course, DeMarcus Cousins going off the way he did with 31 points and 9 rebounds the other night. They got another big man in the post. So you add all those ingredients and then you bring back Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. who do what they do, you're going to have a scary team in the Western Conference. As great as Nikola Jokic is, he needs the services of Jamal Murray because what Jamal Murray will do, he's a big-time player in the playoffs, as y'all saw in that bubble year against the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell. Jamal Murray was the dude. You have a guy who's basically good with the system playing Nikola Jokic. He's the best player on the team, right? That's who the system runs through is Nikola Jokic. But Jamal Murray is the guy who can get buckets, who's the guy who can ISO, who's the guy that can get the last second shots and stuff like that. That's what Jamal Murray needs. Nikola Jokic gets his points throughout the flow of the game, right? You need a guy who's able to be that closer, that ultimate fearless competitor. You know what I mean? If I need a bucket, I can call Jamal and say, "Hey, Jamal, I need you to get this last second shot. I need you to get this 2, this 3, this big bucket down the stretch." I can give the ball to him. And then you got Michael Porter Jr., who has had a lot of upside potential at a 6'10" forward who can score, who's versatile, who can shoot the three. Um, those are two big pieces that can really help the Nuggets right now and having a deep run into playoffs. And if they're fully healthy, from what I've been understanding, what I've been hearing, they feel like they can beat anybody. They can compete for a championship. As far as if Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are gonna come back, it's kind of been up and down. Jamal Murray was supposed to really come back in January around with Klay Thompson from that ACL injury. He's been out for almost a year. He got hurt in March, and he still hasn't came back yet. So from the reports, has been said Mike Malone said Jamal Murray will come back when he's ready, and when he's fully healthy, whenever that is. Michael Porter Jr. his back. I mean, I haven't really heard too many reports about that, except he's close into the near return. They were supposed to play for the G League Denver Nuggets team, the Grand Rapids Gold, but they shut that down recently last week. So it's a lot of cloudy information right now. So we just have to really wait and see. There's about a little less than a month left in the season. Um, so we'll have to see. And if they come back, it's gonna have to be this month. They're gonna need some time to get their wings under. They're gonna have to get some time to get some time under their belt. So if they don't come back next month, I don't really expect them to come back at all. I feel like they're just gonna wait till next season. But I think when Denver Nuggets, when they get healthy, man, they're gonna be a team to record with out west, especially with everything going on with all these other teams. You know what I'm saying? That there's not a real top dog, except you could say Phoenix, by default because they've won the most games. But even then, they can be had. I already said in my last few videos, I feel if the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns face each other full strength, the Clippers will beat them in 6 games, and I stand by that notion. Because just based off the matchup, so there's no real clear cut definitive favorite in the Western Conference. But what y'all think? Do y'all think Denver Nuggets are going to be a threat to reckon with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. come back? Do you guys think that the Denver Nuggets are going to be a conference finals team? Do y'all feel the Denver Nuggets don't get enough coverage throughout the NBA? Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.